शरण प्रभु की आ जा रे।
भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verses 11 to 20.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुम् मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम् ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानम् विशिष्यते। ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च। निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः। मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदम् यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः
These 35 qualities that we are doing of a bhakta are what is aspirational for us. Who is a bhakti? Bhakta. What is bhakti? Bhagwan asakti. The attachment to the Lord is bhakti. It's really that simple. It is just the love for the Lord. Now, this love for the Lord is a very subjective thing, right? So nobody can tell you whether or not you love the Lord. I mean, it's entirely between you and your God. So it is a very easy thing for us to fool ourselves. Nobody can make a comment on whether I'm a bhakta or not. Nobody can make a comment on what is my attachment to God. That is between me and my God. This lends itself to our own creative imagination on what love of God means. And human beings, they are very creative. They can come up with any explanation and everything sounds quite reasonable to them. It sounds very reasonable to a human being that if I go around killing people, then I love my God. It sounds reasonable to a person. It sounds reasonable to a person that, I can do my work anyway, but I love the Lord. I need not keep my word. I need not be efficient at what I do. We have all these notions, and we see no dichotomy between the love of the Lord and anything to do with our life. It's okay if I fight with my husband, but I love the Lord. It's okay if I'm overweight, but I love the Lord. This sounds reasonable to us. It's okay if my cupboard is a mess, but I love the Lord. So these sound reasonable to us. What's the connection? So Krishna has taken the time, the trouble, the effort to give us 35 qualities. At least somewhere we'll get a reality check about our love for the Lord. In the last verse, he told us, in the 17th verse, which we did, that he neither rishyati nor dveshti. He neither rejoices nor hates, nor grieves nor desires. He's a renouncer of good and evil. Now, these are the consequences. Please understand this. These are not things to practice. These are the consequences of Bhagwan Asakti. When you are really attached to the Lord, na rushyati na dveshti. What are you going to be happy about and what are you going to be miserable about? What is there to be happy about and what is there to be miserable about? Just like if you're an adult, you will not have either rejoicing nor hatred towards all the Barbie dolls of the world. You will not be very excited, oh wow, I got a Barbie doll. Or if you lost a Barbie doll, oh no, my life is ruined, I'm going to commit suicide, I lost my Barbie doll. Right? So it's a state. When you're attached to the Lord, when you're attached to the higher, automatically, you are not, all these things are not giving you a kick. So you are neither delighted, nor unhappy, nor worried, nor hoping. Your wish is to get the Lord. What are you hoping for in the world? What is there to hope for? You will not, if you're really attached to the Lord. Now, we are not attached to the Lord. That's an easy yardstick, right? We just found out we have no attachment to the Lord. So then are these qualities useless for us to know beyond the point that they told us that we are in a pretty pathetic condition? Are they useless for us to know? No, because they have some practical relevance in our life as well. Here is where it becomes that Vedanta is not just Paramarthik. It is also about our life. So how does this relate to our life? Every one of us has a mind and an intellect. The mind in us may rejoice, may grieve, may hate, may get anxious, may long. The mind can do all this. It's fine. It doesn't, that's fine. It feels like that. It feels like that is just a fact. Just like it is raining. It's just a fact. So my mind feels like this. That's just a fact. But my intellect is still capable of governing my action. This is how it is applicable to me today. Vedanta has been lost to most people because they only go to the Paramartha. They do not see that this is equally relevant to me right here and right now. And how is it relevant? I understand that my mind will feel these emotions, but I need not be driven by these emotions. I can still think clearly about what I need to do. I may be anxious about a result which I am supposed to get next week, but I can still think, okay, my mind is anxious, but what is it I need to do? And execute that action. If you're able to do this and consistently do it, you will find, to your great delight, that you are no longer ruled by your mind. Your mind feels it, that's fine, but you're still doing the right thing. You can feel the emotion and continue to do the right thing. That's why it says Shubha Ashubha Parityagi. The auspicious and the inauspicious fruits will cease to bother you. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? Okay, one thing, I hope you're getting the flow of thought. I'm feeling what I'm feeling, but I'm continuing to do what is correct. And if I do accomplish that, or I accomplish to whatever extent I'm able to at the moment, I will find that the results will have less and less sway on me. They will simply not control me anymore. And that is a consummation devoutly to be desired, isn't it? Today we are helpless victims of the world, of our mind. And this combination of being a helpless victim of our mind and a helpless victim of the world is wrecking our life. But when you can't, when you're no longer a helpless victim of your mind, miraculously, you're no longer a helpless victim of this world. Isn't that a good thing to try to aspire for? Try at least. So next time we feel bad, we will ask ourselves the question, what? Please, somebody answer. Can you? Yeah?
It's okay to feel bad, but we can still do the right thing.
Now, what is the question I'm going to ask myself?
What is the right thing to do?
What is the right thing to do? Very good. What is the right thing to do? Never mind what I'm feeling. I'm just at the moment putting it aside. You know, sometimes the mind really takes over. Like, for instance, you are feeling claustrophobic. Okay? Can you divorce that? You know, it sort of grows on you, you know, when you're feeling claustrophobic. You just divorce yourself from the feeling and think, what should I do? Easy answer to that question, taking a deep breath. That's what I should do. Just keep doing some deep breathing. That feeling, that force of that feeling will slowly reduce on us. So is that clear? So one aspect of verse 17 is the Paramarthik angle, is the absolute angle. I'm attached to God, now this matters to me. Is that portion clear? Can more people please put on your videos? We have improved our, whatever this thing it is that is improved. So let's see how many videos we can tolerate without going crazy. Okay. Okay, is this Bhargavi? Thank you. Oh, Aditi, you're back after a long time. First, I used to always see you. Now I only occasionally see you. Yes, I know you are on YouTube and you watch it on YouTube.
No, Janki-ji, I've been attending, but currently I'm in Rishikesh, so the internet is a little dodgy.
Okay. You're in our land.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
What is this? This looks like predominantly female class. Where are all the men? No men want to put on their videos. What is the matter? Only 3 men have agreed to switch their videos on. Let's see how many can we take. Be nice to have a class full of people. Okay, very nice. Let's see whether our video can charge. Whatever, what is this Wi-Fi, whatever it is, can take it. Very good. Here, Sau Menon, I remember our cruise. We went off on a major cruise to see some land. Can you believe what all we've been up to? Of course, it didn't work out, but we had a nice cruise and came back. Yes, Mukesh. Yeah, Mukesh, please go ahead.
Sorry, hi. Just wanted to ask you, you mentioned about when you're emotionally tormented for any reason, and you know whatever you're doing is not or you need to do the correct thing or the right thing. But how do you overcome this? Because you're so tormented, you cannot just think straight.
A good thing to do is to solve the problem. You know, there's no point saying that I have this horrible problem which is tormenting me, and I'm going to control my mind and not get tormented. That's not a good way to go about it. The good way to go about it is to say, I'm going to solve this problem, whatever it is. So give me an example of something that torments me so that I can talk about that example. Give me some example, any example. A person is tormented because of what? His wife is...
Sorry, example would be like something you want to you do, but you cannot. You don't know how to do it, and you get frustrated. You attempt doing it to get it, right, or do the right thing, and you just get so frustrated. I mean, this was happening to me yesterday. I wanted to use example. How do you?
I completely identify with this example. Try putting up a Vedanta university and make no progress on the matter. You'll see how it feels. It feels terrible.
And
Nothing is
You
happening.
one feels you're not progressing. I mean, I'm just giving this example yesterday, and that's what I think more of is frustration. So, I mean, okay, I said I'll get help today.
Understood. I'm absolutely with you. Vedanta University, trying to get the land, trying to get the funds, trying to put it up, nothing is moving. Okay? Very frustrating. Nothing is moving. You can feel completely frustrated and be completely happy as well. It is completely possible. This is the most frustrating and stupid thing. Why did I take it up? Only fools take up projects like this. You can be completely frustrated and you can be enjoying yourself. It is possible. I'm totally frustrated about Vedanta University, and yet I seem to be having a fairly good time. So I can tell you that that is possible. Yes, it is very irritating that these things don't happen. The amount of people working, okay? Everybody is dedicated, they're working. Surekha's husband is not even attending class, poor fellow. He is going off to some godforsaken place to look for a land for us. Can you believe that? Surekha is in Kyrgyzstan and her husband is working here to get us some land. Like, people are really wholeheartedly putting in their time and effort and energy, money, everything. Sahu Men and me fixed up some meeting at Alibag. Then we had to take the Roro and go to Alibag. And then whatever. Everything we do just doesn't work. Like whatever we do. It's frustrating. But I need not be tormented because of that. Because I can keep a little distance. We can all keep a little distance between what is going on, what is my emotional reaction to that, and the fact that I still have a lot of work to do. I do not have the luxury of sitting down and feeling sorry for myself. Because here is a situation that I have to deal with. Bharat has put ailments. Let us say that somebody near me has some ailment. Today I heard a cousin of mine got a brain stroke. He's in hospital. Does his wife have the luxury to sit down and feel sorry about this? She has to get to action. He has to get to hospital. Whatever needs to be done has to be done. You know, time is crucial, is urgent. So once you realize that I have to deal with this, I don't have this luxury of settling down, feeling sorry for myself. I have this project. I have to do it. That means do it means no result will come unless there's an action. So I have to keep doing that action. Since I have to do the action, I have to know what is the action to be performed. So my mind has to shut up for the moment. If this much is clear to me, I will find myself less and less, what should I say? Divorced from the action. Okay, so how do I deal with these things that torment me? I realize that I have something to deal with. Therefore, I have to do an action. And if I have to do an action, I have to know what that action is. So I can't afford to allow the feelings to rule me. I just cannot afford this. Especially when there's urgency. Sometimes it goes on long. Like, I mean, I was in hospital. Should I say, it can go on for a long time, right? We've all had older parents, we've all had people who have had ailments, and then this can go on for 6 months, it can go on for years, it can go on. There are people who have gone on for like 10 years being the caregiver of, people who are not well. So they don't have the time, they don't have the luxury of sitting down and saying, I'm tormented. And I should not give myself that luxury. I appreciate how I'm feeling. I'm not denying how I feel. I feel like that. And I say, and I use that feeling to say, I'm going to solve this problem by doing this action, because actions bring results. You're not suppressing the feeling. You're actually using the feeling as a springboard to get more stuff done. And maybe consoling the mind, saying that if I do this, then that thing will happen. Suresh?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I have also the same question. Actually, when we feel frustrated or tormented, yesterday I have the feeling. That's why I'm sharing this with you. And in that feeling, my intellect always guide me that this is not the right way to react for this such kind of feeling. We have to control over that. So what happens when we resist towards that feeling, means remind ourselves like what is the right action or what is not the right action. In that case, we feel something means under pressure, means and that feeling always, if we think about the solution, then we are also bounded on limitations. Always we cannot means leave that situation, or we cannot get out of that situation. Means what solution we can go for that? Like we can keep ourselves away from those people, those who are frustrating us or those who are tormenting us. Means how we can deal with that situation. Like we are keeping ourselves remind that this is not the right thing. We have to, our intellect is more than those people.
Yeah, give an example. Let's say, I mean, this is a terrible example for me because I had a saint as a mother-in-law. But let us say my mother-in-law is tormenting me. Now, what are my options? I should sit down and write down. What are my options? Do I have the option of leaving? If I have the option of leaving, please leave. No, what headache in life. If you don't have the option of leaving, then what are your options? All right, so sit down, write down what are possible options. Okay, some things are not an option, some things are an option. What are those options which are available to me? How can I execute those options? This is how you're engaging your own intellect into it. You can't let your mind be frustrated and say, I must control this, I must control this. It's never going to work. You have to solve it, whatever that problem is, to the best possible. Sometimes you can say, okay, I will restrict my contact with her because I have to live in the same house. I will, okay, let me restrict contact. Let me take up a job somewhere in the house so much. What are the options available to me? I cannot keep forcing my mind not to feel what it is feeling. How can I do that? Right? So that is not being advised. What it keeps talking about is engage your intellect. What can you do? What are the options available to you? Now that I have the video on, I can see Surekha. Surekha had a job once in Syria. Now, when she's working in Syria, obviously some things are not possible for her to do. She goes there with, she does NGO work. So she went to Syria to help out. Now, the conditions being what they are, she cannot do some things. So, well, she can't do them. But what can she do? As an NGO, as the CEO of the NGO, she has to figure out what available options are there. And which of these can I do? This is called engaging the intellect. Right? So now you are the CEO of your life. So you have to think, what options are available to me? And can I think? Now, sometimes when you feel, no, I can't even think of what options are available to me, then ask somebody who has a better intellect in that. What all options can I even consider? But the problem with us is, even if you go to a person with a better intellect and you say, please tell me what are the options, you will not stop saying, I'm so miserable, I'm so miserable, I'm so miserable. stop long enough for the person to tell you some options. Yes, Swamiji used to say that when people come to talk to me, 1 hour, if I give to them, 57 minutes, they will repeat whatever they're saying and give me 3 minutes to answer. And in those 3 minutes, they will interrupt 4 times. So what is the point of going to him? Have you gone to him just so that you get some mental solace of somebody has listened to me? Then you're wasting his time and yours. But if you're going to him saying, okay, here's an issue, what best can I do with it? He will get rid of your problem for you in 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes, he'll tell you what to do. Otherwise, he's waiting for 57 minutes just to get a chance to put a word in edgeways. He can't interrupt you, so he's listening quietly. So when we go to the person, we must know what we have gone to the person for. I've gone to the person for venting, or I've gone to the person for options. Be clear. Go to your friends for venting. Go to a superior intellect for getting options of what to do. Don't use a superior intellect for venting, because you're wasting both that person's time and your own. Because usually people with a superior intellect are just like, "Kyun mera time waste kar rahe," you know. If you knew how many man hours I have spent listening to people telling me the same thing over and over again, you would feel very sorry for me. How many man hours of my life I've gone, got it the first time. You don't need to repeat it. But no, you repeat and repeat. So when you go, like even when we go to the doctor, we won't say, these are my symptoms. What should I do? We will say, oh, doctor, you don't know how bad I felt. My stomach was hurting so much. But I was trying to control it, but I couldn't control it. Tell him, I have a severe stomach ache. Don't take 15 minutes to tell him you have a stomach ache. You know, so because there are other patients also waiting. No? And then, best waste of time. You're so great. I know you're the only person who can solve my problem. Well, if you've come to me, the assumption is you know that. So don't know what's the point of saying this. You know, so when we go to a superior intellect, a doctor, an architect, who has the necessary data to solve our problems, listen. This is all called engaging the intellect. So first step is engage your intellect, your own intellect. What are the options available? If none of them seem to you like very good, go to a superior intellect and ask, what are my options? What are the options you think available to me? Right? So that your mind knows, you know, that you're working on solving the problem. And when you're working on solving, when you know in your head you're working on solving the problem, maybe your mind just settles down a bit. So though it's frustrated because the problem is there, it's not creating trauma because you know you're working on it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I'll be able to settle my mind in 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. But when again it triggers, then again the same feeling comes. And then again it will take that much of time to settle down mind. Means,
Yeah, because you're not attending to the problem, you're settling your mind down. You have to attend to the problem so that it doesn't come again as far as you can deal with it. Or you have to get used to the fact. Suppose a person is in a situation where something has happened that is irretrievable. Like somebody is dead. This is irretrievable. How are you going to solve this problem? There's no solution. You have to gulp and bear it, right? Or you have to deal with a problem where so many diabetics, they have their leg amputated or something like that. It's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. Right? So you have to somehow come to the stage of what can I do now? Somehow I have to bring myself to the stage of what can I do now? Somebody is no more. I cannot deal with the same problem again and again. I must solve problems, not keep festering wounds. And by solve problems, I don't mean I have to just sort of dismiss the fact that somebody is dead and not be bothered about it. Not like that. But I must allow the mind to reach its natural equilibrium again. Okay, so if it's coming back again and again, that means the problem is not solved. I have to deal with it. Not just settle my mind. It's very easy to settle my mind. Go for a movie, go for a walk, chat with your friends, vent with somebody. Your mind will settle down. They'll come right back again.
Yes, ma'am.
Malati?
Hari Om Janki ji. And so you seem to have a very tormented and frustrated class today, because I exactly the same thing. I've been no excuses for not doing what I should do, but I've been the decision of buying a home, which is going to be, I have finite amount of money, like we all do. And I did decide on something after looking at many properties, but suddenly got cold feet. This is like 2 days ago, and exactly what the other two people are saying, I was like, palpitations, traumatized, frustrated. It was, I had like 2 hours to go and sign the agreement and give the advance. And I was like, what shall I do? The indecision, as you say, you just said, and I've got quite a lot of my answers from listening to the others. And eventually it was my sister who said, just say no, just say no. But I did feel bad having said no. I regretted having said no. But I thought that's an easier regret to live with. That was a decision my intellect took, I suppose. Then, and I really wanted to call you, as I want to say, because I was feeling so upset and anxious. And in the end, I've decided not to buy it. And I did feel better after I took the decision. However, now when I have to start the process all over again, that's my next problem, I guess. So I just thought that I've also had a very traumatic week.
Okay, yeah.
But
this is part of life, no, Malati. There will be traumatic weeks.
But in that decision of, that was the only way. I had to say yes or no. I could not have any more.
Yes, naturally. In many situations in life, you have to say yes or no. If somebody asks you, will you marry me? You have to say yes or no. You cannot keep it. There are people who keep it going for years. They just say yes or no. Some people don't name their children for years. There's a 4-year-old child who's not named because parents can't decide which name, right? So the mind always finds that possibility of something better. At some stage, you have to decide this is good enough. And the way you do that is by making a list of your yardsticks. Write them down, right? So in my house, I want what? Write it down. But first, obviously, the price band. What is that price band? In that price band, what is the square feet or whatever it is that's important to you? Area. Make that yardstick. Because the mind will always tell you that there is a better opportunity somewhere else. And that possibility will always exist. Right? Like we are buying the land for the thing. Now we've got three plots which are available to us. We can choose between one of these 3, which I'm hoping we will do. Or we can say, no, let's wait. Maybe we get a better one. Now, we'll never buy a property. We never buy that land only if we want a better one. Something has to be just good enough. So make first a list of the things that you will not move from. Like in our case, 25 acres of land. We have to get that one way or the other, right? Or near Mumbai or whatever. None of these are very things, but for us, water, electricity, road are the 3 main things that have to be there. Now, for you buying an urban property, you don't have to consider this. But make a list what you will not compromise on. And then make a list of compromisables, but desirable. If your property, whatever you choose, has all the non-compromisables and many of the desirables, it's good enough for you. That's how you engage. But now at the moment, since you're saying you're traumatized, just forget about it for the moment, because you'll just irritate the mind more and more. For a moment, just forget it. Close the book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Gita Mohan.
Hari Om, Janki ji. Now I'm retracing a bit to what we discussed a little earlier. You said action keeps you detached, and
Right action.
engage the right action. So you engage your intellect for it, and you're getting out of self-pity. Once you tide over the difficult situation, sometimes after all the energy that is used to deal with the situation, there is a period when you suddenly feel drained out. How do you deal with that?
Rest.
Rest. Suppose you get into another difficult situation by then.
Then you've not been doing your morning.
Do we assume that tiding over that next situation is going to keep you busy and active, and you may forget about the loss of energy in the first situation?
I mean, we hope that such a thing doesn't happen. We should live our life in a manner that we're preventing problems and not having to deal with problems. If I'm having to deal with problems, I need to figure out what am I not doing enough prevention about. Like, for instance, health. If I've got one health problem after another health problem after another health problem, hardly have I got through one, another one has come. Then I have to do some more basic work. Like, am I doing the basics correctly? Am I eating the right food? Am I exercising? Am I resting enough? Have I got, times for my meals, for sleep? I have to do more prevention work. So, in answer to your question, after I've been through a traumatic period, I just need to take a break. Just let the mind relax. In the middle of that break, if some terrible thing comes about, that's extremely unfortunate, but now you have no option but to deal with it. What else will you do? But
sometimes
if things are happening, go back to more preventive things, if possible.
Yeah. No, sometimes it's the loss of a loved one. And it takes time to register. You're just registering it, accepting it, you're getting over that situation. And then you suddenly realize that there are a lot of other issues that loom large, because it's something which is not anticipated. And so many other issues that you still have to deal with. But in between this, there's a period when you're totally drained out and you feel, and no amount of introspection really tells you that this is where you've planned wrongly.
Okay, so when you're drained out, please respect that feeling. Just rest. There is something about all of us that we feel rest is some sort of, forbidden activity. Rest, take it easy, be kind to yourself, be kind to your mind. You're on a long journey, and all of us in this class, we're on a long journey of self-development. This is not a short journey. So we are in it in the long haul. We have to sustain our enthusiasm for the next 30, 40, 50 years. So please take it easy. Be kind to yourself. Go slow. There is no rush. There is no hurry. There is no ideal thing that we have to do. And if we don't do it, we are such horrible people. No, we are determined to get to our goal of self-development. It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. We are going to enjoy the journey as we go. And therefore, if I am recognizing that this equipment requires some rest or break, or it's exhausted, let me give it that. It's part of detachment. It's part of right action to recognize that this vehicle is not functioning. I cannot force it. Suppose it was my horse. Would I ride it when the horse was exhausted? Then why am I riding this body if it's exhausted? But there could be some major emergency where I have to ride an exhausted horse. But I must avoid such kind of situations as far as possible. And if I'm doing that for whatever reason, that I'm riding an exhausted horse, I have to know this and deal with it accordingly. Like then now don't put one more irritant on that poor horse's head. Don't take on more luggage of some kind. Right? So it's just being rational about how we are dealing with things. And yeah, if somebody passes away, a loved one passes away, by the time you have figured out that the person is able to think all the wills and mutual funds and all sorts of things will start flowing into the whatever probate, and all sorts of things will start happening. Plus all the religious rituals and blah blah blah. Plus all the social blah 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 will go on. We have
So that switching off for some time, one can do without any feeling of guilt.
Of course, no feeling of guilt for any reason, anytime, ever. I am not a perfect being. I will make mistakes. I don't have infinite energy. I will get tired. No guilt for any reason other than the fact that I'm consciously taking wrong action. I'm consciously taking a wrong action. Wrong action means I'm consciously doing something to hurt or damage somebody. Other than that, no guilt. Oh, I couldn't get up in the morning and study. I'm so guilty. No guilt. I couldn't do it. I'm going to try again next day. I have to have a good time while I'm on the journey, because this is a long journey to self-development. I'm assuming everybody in this class wants self-development.
Yes.
So on that principle,
Yes.
So on that principle, we are in a marathon. All of us, we're in a marathon. There's no sprints going on here. We will fall, we will falter, we will do all sorts of silly things. We just get up, dust ourselves, and move on. I am more concerned about what I should be doing rather than what I have done. What I should be doing when this body is exhausted is just rest it. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dear Darshani, Ramaswamy, what is happening in the class yesterday and today? Both days you all are not continuing. How do we apply this when there are issues with relations which are not even in talking terms? Well, we already reached a pretty bad condition if you're not on talking terms. But now, how do I answer that, Priyadarshini? Thank you, Kinari, Bhargavi. I'm always thinking I'm not doing the text, and you'll have all come here to do the text. Priyadarshini, I don't know how to answer it because I can't answer a specific question with you can't get a specific answer with a general question. How do I handle somebody who's not even in talking terms with me? The easy thing is go to that person and apologize. The person will talk to you. Okay, now you brought it on talking terms. Now, once you brought it on talking terms, now you decide what to do. But then you say, no, how can I apologize to a person who has murdered my family? Then so I can't give a general answer because I don't know what happened that there were no talking terms, and whether that is the ideal situation that you're not on talking terms. I don't know. You will have to apply your own intellect and decide what is the most sensible thing to do. Do you want to get back on talking terms? If so, why is it? And if you do want to, the easy way to get people to talk to you is to go and say sorry to them. They'll automatically talk to you. Even to tell you, oh, now you understand. Now you come to me. Now you are saying sorry. What happened that time? Whatever they say, at least now they're talking. And if they say anything, then you wanted to be on talking terms. So main kya karu? I'm telling you how to get back on talking terms. What they will talk when you're on talking terms, that's your responsibility. So you have to think about this. Momita. Solve the issue. Oh, are you okay, Priyadarshini? I don't know how to answer that until there are some specifics, You have to engage your intellect with it. Decide, do you want to be on talking terms? Why do you want to be on talking terms? What do you hope to achieve by being on talking terms? Sometimes it's
See, it is within the family, so obviously I would want it to be in talking terms. But all of a sudden there is a cutoff in the family. That is what is kind of a little traumatic to me. That is the reason I want
apologize.
to.
Go apologize. People are not talking to you because you irritated the hell out of them. That you may say, but they were doing wrong.
No,
Maybe
yeah, that is correct. After doing all that also, there is nothing. In fact, the person is younger, but I have apologized. I have said sorry. All that I have done. And we don't live together also.
then give it time. What else? You have to respect somebody's decision not to want to speak to us, right? There are people in your life you don't want to speak to, and other people sometimes don't want to speak to us. That's that.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. But I thought if there is something else, like it's more than a year now.
Yeah, but to know something else, what can I say when I don't know the problem, right? I may say something incorrect and worsen the situation. So
it's like this.
it's okay. You don't have to. We are in a public class.
No,
so
I'm okay. I'm. This may be common in many families. It's happened here also. Like after my husband expired, all of a sudden my daughter-in-law wanted to break off the relationship with me. Though I have been living independently, I'm all on my own, and they live in US and I live in India.
yeah,
So
that doesn't tell us what, according to her, you have done wrong. According to her.
Nothing, because we have not lived together at all.
So why would she cut off relationships?
I don't know.
Then why don't
That's
you
the
ask
question
her?
I've been asking.
Well, either she's insane, Priyadarshini, in which case this is not on you, or you have to ask her. If you can't ask her, ask your son.
Even he doesn't know. There's no answer that he has.
But he's on talking terms with you.
Yeah, he is on talking terms with me. Only daughter-in-law, that too after having a baby, she is cut off completely.
Postpartum depression, we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what initially we thought. Now the baby is 3 years. That's what we thought initially, maybe. And that too, she has come from a family where she has been adopted by her parents. So we didn't, we had no objection to any of those conditions. We liked the girl and it was an arranged marriage only. So everything was fine as long as I was working and my husband was there. I lost him in 2016. Post that, there has been always a detachment kind of thing from her.
She may be having some mental problem, one doesn't know. But if you're sure you haven't done anything, then that's that.
Yeah.
That's just
I'm
that.
pretty sure. Yeah. I'm 100% sure.
Okay, then that's that. I mean, people have their own kind of.
Yeah, so many a times I think maybe it's like destiny. We are just travelers, and only we meet for a certain time and then depart. That's how. So that's how I put it across. Is that also?
Why bring destiny? People are what they are. I mean, that's that. Why do we have to explain it with any other thing? Why does it have to do with me at all? It may have nothing to do with me. It may have to do, I mean, if you have done nothing and neither you nor your son can see what you have done, then you should just be grateful that she is okay with your son, because she'll break up his marriage. So as long as she's okay with the son, okay, things are so far so good. Just be grateful. That's that. Your son is talking to you. He's talking to her. You are in the best case scenario, given that she seems to have some hang-ups. So just gratitude that, she could have forbidden your son to talk to you, right? He hasn't gone that far. So just be grateful. What can you do? People are what they are.
Right. Thank you.
Mamita, solve the issue act. Do not address the mind. Do not address the mind. What have you written? You're trying to summarize. Write down options. Talk to a superior intellect. Write down.
I just wrote down the points.
Do not address the mind means what?
Do not dwell on what the mind is.
Okay. Write down parameters for taking a decision, non-negotiables and desirables. Prevent problems. Address basic issues for recurring. 6, rest. Okay. Why don't you write rest right on top only? Why is everybody so happy with rest? Are you people not resting? Why are you so happy to hear that you should rest? If you all are not resting, please take more rest. Too much dedication is not good. So just chill, take it easy, enjoy life. Your primary duty in this world is to have a good time. That is your first duty. If you're not having a good time, sorry, you're not a Vedantan. Vedantins enjoy everything. If you're not enjoying it, unnecessarily one more pressure have I put on you. This is very frightening. Now we are pressurized that we are not enjoying. Please enjoy yourself, relax, remove all the pressure. No pressure on anybody for any reason. We are just going to chill, have a great time, do whatever good work we can while we're around here. And then one day we're going to say goodbye and take off. Just take it easy. We are not getting out of it alive anyway. So just take it easy. Yeah, Uttara?
Yes, Janki ji, you just gave her the answer that why bring destiny in it? Then how do you explain the situation that people like the way she had put out, Ms. Priyadarshini, that she has done nothing wrong. Okay, she has not lived with them, so it couldn't have arisen, that situation may not have arisen. Then how do you explain people coming into your life without destiny? Without destiny, how do you explain?
But why do you need to explain? This is a human emotion. We want to explain everything. But why? What is the need to explain it? There are people like this. Okay, there will be 10% of the population that have mental hang-ups of some sort. Maybe there's some kind of extreme in them or some hang-up. It's a normal bell curve. So in my life, I have to meet some people who will have some strange things. In your life, there'll be somebody. In my life, there'll be somebody. Well, they are what they are. So main kya karu? Right? In fact, eventually, those people are quite comfortable with you because you don't have a judgment that they are bad. They are what they are and you're okay with it. Okay means, now this book is brown. So main kya karu? Why did a brown book come in my life? Why do I have to answer this question? I, in my mind, am giving it extraordinary importance. And therefore, I want an explanation of why it's there. You don't ask.
Daughter-in-law can be an important person in your life, isn't it?
Why? Just a natural probability, A natural probability that in my life, there is 10% of the population which is like this. Now, I may get that 10% in close relations, distant relations, medium relations, suddenly for some period of time, very close relation, whatever. These are just possibilities. It's like, why? It's like asking, I was on my way to a very important interview and it rained. Why did it rain? It's a probability to rain sometime or the other. It rained now. We are giving it way too much importance. So we are all the time, all human beings, it's like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? It has to happen. What's the big deal? right? It bugs us because it has happened to us and we don't like the idea. That's why it bugs us.
Saying I am it
But
all
the
the
fact is, it can happen, no?
Yes. So yeah, because you tend to dwell on it. Because relationships are important in your life, and you tend to dwell on it.
No, you're dwelling in the wrong way. Wrong way means in an unproductive way. You dwell on it in a productive way. In your life, as your life exists right now, there will be people who are sensible. Hang out more with them. There will be people who are not so sensible. Reduce contact. Why do I have to explain your foolishness? You are foolish is enough for me to know. Now, why do I have to explain it? I don't have to explain it. You are. And this is a natural bell curve in society. Okay. I'm not wasting my time with unproductive people. I'm going to spend my time with productive people, productive thoughts. I'm here with a purpose, right? I'm here to develop myself. If you're not helping me do that, or if this question is not helping me do that, I'm not interested in this question.
So we should not question whoever comes in our life or anything. We just focus on ourselves. That's the point.
We do our morning study. When you do the morning study, it's very interesting. A discrimination develops. And then for some reason, you are automatically gravitate to more and more sensible people. Concentrate on morning study.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Bharat, I seem to meet all of this 10%. What 10% of what, Bharat?
Of
So
the weird,
Jankaji is saying,
unstable
yeah.
kind.
Of the?
Weird and unstable kind.
Bharat, you're in the class with all of us. You can't say that you seem to meet only weirdos. Unless you think we're all weirdos.
You're saying that in class. You're saying that you only meet 10%, you meet only the 10% crazy people. Bharat, that's a dangerous statement to make, okay? I hope, Mahesh, you please watch it, okay? The person you speak max to is saying this about you. So just watch it. Deepak, Uttara, all of you all see what Bharat is saying to you. So Bharat, I think you would like to take your statement back, right?
Yeah, so I had noticed that. That's why I was telling you that Bharat has already written that he's meeting all this 10% all the time.
We're all meeting this 10% all the time, but we have more of our mental space than the 90% who are really good, nice people. Let the good, nice people take up our mental space. Bhargavi, if DIL doesn't want you, why to give importance to her? Thank God Sun and DIL are doing well and not depending on you for their issue. You are totally independent and free to live your choice of life. Yes, correct. Bhargavi. Okay, we don't seem to be moving forward. Oh my God. Deepa, do you have a question? Yeah, bolo.
I mean, this is relating to the previous point only. In a previous group discussion, we were discussing kind of a similar point, where it is like you're just sitting in your room casually, and some like suddenly a plane comes and crashes into a house and you die. And the question was, did you deserve it or not? So, did the person deserve it?
If you got it, you deserved it. Simple. Because all causation is only reaching a result, right? The result has come, causation has happened. Simple.
So this is not those random events that happen.
They're not random events. Nothing is random. Everything is following something. But I don't need to bring myself in the middle of that thing each time. It's not about me. See, that's the reduction of the ego. Your problems are not about me. Your problems are about you. So, main kya karu? But
So
the
the
causation is going on.
The causation is to do with the fact that, the plane like had some engine failure and it happened to land there, but it doesn't.
Your death is your causation. Your
Okay.
death is always because of your causation, not anybody else's causation. So I died. I had to die. Everybody has to die somehow. Okay, now what is the nimitta matram? Does it even matter? Okay, my prarabdha is over, I'm ready to die, something happened, I died, finished. Nothing complicated. My prarabdha is over, therefore I died. If my prarabdha was not over, I would not have died. Now, why did I die? Because a plane hit or that? I have to die with something, no? Okay.
But I died that way because I deserve to die that way.
I have this incarnation.
Yeah,
I thought this
okay,
way.
Got it. Thank you.
Janki ji, one more.
One more, it's already way past time. Can we take it up next time?
Okay, okay.
Unless it's very short and very.
Yeah, very short, very short. Is it possible that I have stress and I don't realize it?
Of course.
It's possible.
We are all are stressed, but we're so used to the stress that we have, we don't recognize it as stress. We don't call it stress. If you go to any corporate executive, he will tell you he's not stressed, but you can look at his face and tell that he's stressed.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Janki. Thank you.
so much, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Hari Om, Janki ji.
And Bharat, you have to
Lot
retract
of
your
advice.
statement. Lovely.